The Steelers made an interesting move. They have placed a rare UFA tender on Aaron Rodgers. So this is basically a 10% raise on top of what he made last year. Last year he was like 13 million and change, I think. So this would pay him about $15 million for the year, which if he had just signed a 1 year, $15 million contract, I'd understand it, right? So, as part of another condition, Aaron Rodgers will only be able to sign with the Steelers once training camp begins, or July 22nd, whichever one comes later. So basically, and here's part of it as well. So if Aaron Rodgers tomorrow agrees to a deal with, let's say the Jets. Let's just, for shits and giggles, we'll say the Jets. If he agrees to a deal with the Jets, the Steelers get the opportunity to match it. They have the ability to match any offer given to Aaron Rodgers. Then, if they choose not to match it, then it factors into their compensatory pick formula. Normally, when guys are signed after the draft, that doesn't hurt or help your comp pick formula anymore. But by placing this one tender on him, it will help your comp pick formula if another team were to sign him. Now, obviously, he could just choose to retire, and this means nothing. So, I've actually never heard of this before, though I suppose then that's why it's rare. And there is a Steelers podcast that I listen to. It's two guys. They work for Steeler Nation Radio, so it's not like it's, yours truly right here. Like, these guys are actual, like, they work for SNR. And they've done it for years and years, and they have never heard of this. I mean, one of them is a former scout, worked as a scout, worked for ESPN, it's like neither one of these guys have ever heard of this. And I've never heard of it. So that just shows how little it's used. And there might be some restrictions as to how it can be used and who it can be used on, right? Because otherwise, why not just use this more often? Like, let's say Sam Darnold, right? Why couldn't the Vikings place this on Sam Darnold 365 days ago, or, a little more than that, 380 days ago, 390 days ago? Basically, why couldn't they use this and prevent him from being a free agent? And he wasn't making a lot of money for Minnesota in 2024. So it would have been a really cheap contract for 2025, and they could have kept him if they had decided to do that. But, they wanted JJ. So, whatever. But, who was it? Jalen Phillips, right? Who was just with Philly and signed a big deal with Carolina. Could they have used this on him? If so, why didn't they? Whatever the conditions are that this has to be able to be used, is it like it has to be post-draft, but I think today was the deadline, so maybe you have to use it within a certain amount of time after the draft ends. So the draft ended Saturday, right? So Sunday, Monday, it's Tuesday. So is it like you have to use it within 72 hours of the conclusion of the draft? Um, you know, it's just how how are the conditions on this? Like, why is this not used more? Because everyone thinks of tenders or tags like restricted free agent, like, or original round tenders, like or you can literally just place a second round tender on someone, and if another team signs them, you get a second round pick. Like, teams do it all the time. I've seen it be used. The Steelers used it on Jalen Warren, which it was either a second or a third round tender, and that was last year. But why is this not used? What needs to happen for it to be used? And then also, have they gotten some inkling? Have they heard something through the grapevine that another team was interested in Aaron? So are they trying to ensure that either A, Aaron retires, B, if Aaron doesn't sign with them, then they get something for him in the 2027 draft, and or option 3, he's a Steeler. Like, it's going to be one of those 3. Either you get something for him, he retires, or he's a Steeler. So that's just where I'm at with it, and I'm trying to understand it. But when it's something super rare and not a lot of people have heard about it, it's hard to get information. And I guess the question of, does this influence his decision at all? Does this make him want to either retire, or does it make him want to come back? Or this idea was floated out there, and I don't really buy it. But was this Aaron's idea? Did he tell them, place this thing on me, and, as a good faith, like, I'm going to be coming back? But at that point, why not just sign? And it's like, yeah, like, you end up having to go to, like, OTAs, mini camp, but you were at mandatory mini camp last year. That's literally right when you signed. So if you just wanted to skip the voluntary stuff, so sign, skip the voluntary stuff, and come in when it's mandatory, okay. Like, that's just, it's just like, why? Why did they do this? And a memo was sent out to, like, the other teams, basically just making them aware that the Steelers placed this tender on Aaron. So if you sign him, this is what's going on. He's not technically free and clear. He can sign with anyone, but it could hurt your comp pick formula. So, yeah, it's very interesting. So if you guys did enjoy this, please do leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on, and I will see all you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.